Alrighty, hello 8th graders. How are we doing today? Good, kind of quiet. Can anyone remember within our nutrition unit what we learned last class? I wrote on the board, yeah. Yes, so specifically my plate, which talked about nutrition and the different sections of food that are considered different types of nutrition. So if we review my plate, what are the main groups of foods that we talked about? The first one? Carbs. Carbohydrates. Protein. Fruit. Vegetables. Dairy, yeah. So those are our main key components. And was dairy included in the 100% or not included? Good job, guys. Perfect. So you guys obviously understood my plate pretty well. And it was very exciting to see all the ideas of food that you guys thought of when we talked about the full food groups. So that has a lot to do with what we're going to learn today. Can anyone guess, with this little sliver of information, micronutrients and macronutrients, or even if you look at your note sheet from today, anything that's going to be different from last lesson to today's lesson?
We're talking about micronutrients and vitamins.
Yeah, so we're going to dig a little deeper into those food groups and see what is so specific about them and what are some great foods that are an example of that. So make sure that you're filling out your notes. Let me know if you need a blank filled out. You can talk to your person next to you or whatnot. But these are the 4 groups that we're going to be going over. This is our table of contents. And we are soon going to find out which one we need the most of, which one we need the least of, what's the most helpful for our bodies in different situations, what heals our bodies. So micronutrients, macronutrients, vitamins, minerals, those are our 4. Okay, so starting off, this is our definition. All of our definitions are going to be color-coded and in a little like blur bubble like this with the number it's on. So micronutrients are a small portion of our diets that are essential to give us energy. So it does provide us energy through calories. And then also on your worksheets there, I'm going to look at my own, but the bullet points are the names of the slides. So if you ever get lost on where you're taking notes, it's the bullet point will be the title of the slide. Is everyone finished with their definition, or we need a little bit more time? Okay, I'll move on. Okay, so micronutrients, I thought these little pictures were really fun, but these are some main examples of micronutrients and the vitamins that are needed within micronutrients. So vitamin C, a lot of us think of orange juice or oranges. Citrus fruits, lemons, those types of things can fulfill those needs. Obviously, too much of anything is not good, but vitamin B6 is also a micronutrient that can be found in poultry or fish, tuna, chicken. Those are really good hearty examples. There are lots of smaller examples as well. But zinc was something that kind of surprised me. I just think of zinc as like the little white mark on a lifeguard's nose, like when they put sunscreen on, that's like pure zinc. But it's actually found in crab and cheese, so dairy and seafood are high in the zinc. The dietary stuff that we need is all in different types of foods. So this is total diet count, and this is like the amount of each thing that we need, like comparatively, if we're just filing through the 4 that we're talking about, what is needed the most and what is needed the least. Some of these vitamins you really do not need a lot of, and they're found in other like we said, like vitamin B6 was found in something else that could be considered a protein group or a different so the overall big group that we talked in my plate, protein, whole grains, different things, can be found in the smaller vitamins or minerals, or is this, in this case, the micronutrients? So the difference between micro and macro is large and micro is small. Vitamins are the tiniest amount, and then minerals are a tiny amount. So the smallest is vitamins, next is mineral, then it goes to micronutrients, and then macronutrients. Okay, here's our definition of macronutrients. They are essential to health. All of these in their definition say that they're essential to health, but that this one we need large amounts, and they do, it provides energy for calories. Alrighty, I'm gonna go back because I think I might have misspoke about micronutrients versus macro. They don't, so micronutrients are smaller, like we learned with the amounts, and it doesn't count towards energy. Did I say that wrong? Yeah? Okay, so it doesn't count towards energy, micronutrients. Macronutrients do count, and that's big stuff like chicken, poultry, protein. We'll go through it more as we're going through the slides. So that was our definition, in case you need a quick refresher. Here is our percentages of the different things, just like we did in micronutrients for the macros. So 45 to 65% of our diet should be carbohydrates, and as we learned last class, 50% of that should be whole grains. So 50% of the 45 to 65% should be whole grains, and then there are processed grains, and there are also like oats and bread, which are great examples of that. Next is protein. Protein is 10 to 35%. Those are meats, poultry, beef, beans, really hearty type foods, and fats, 25 to 35%, which kind of seems a little high in my mind, but those are natural good fats. So when we go through our example experiment diagram, I'm going to speak about what each part of our food has the different elements, and a good fat, an example of that are vegetables, seeds, nuts. I always think of avocados as good fat. My mom always told me that, and then as well as like cream cheese is like fatty, but it is like good fats because it's getting you those calcium you need and all those different like nutritional needs that those provide. So moving on to the next is vitamins, a nutrient that the body needs in small amounts to fulfill dietary needs. And we kind of mentioned these before a little bit, like B6 and them. All the nutrients work together in our body to make our flesh function. Alrighty, so these are great examples of vitamins in action, different foods that provide different vitamins. These are great examples. I'm going to give you guys a little activity at the end of class, and we're going to talk to our partners and work as a whole group to point out different examples of these foods. So if you want to write these down, that can be helpful if there are any slots that you need to fill in. And obviously all of these have different types of vitamins too. There also is extra space at the end of your note sheet if you need space for extra notes. Okay, so vitamins and minerals, I feel like we always hear those together. Like it's like, it rolls off the tongue like, oh, you need your vitamins and minerals, and even like sometimes you take supplements or little gummies in the morning to fulfill those needs, which are good. But the best and healthiest way to get these through is natural raw foods like we talked about last class. So once you cook a food, it loses its nutritional value, And the more raw it is, the more colorful it is, the more nutritious the food is. So, working together, vitamins, all these three different like little sayings are for vitamins and minerals, and they talk about how they work together. So vitamins grow and help, so both of these vitamins and minerals help the body grow and develop. They fuel the immune system, so that's when we get sick, our bodies fight off like foreign invaders and things that are cold or something that gets into our body. That's our immune system. And then it fuels our cells and organs. So they are the key components that derive and keep our body moving. Because if you don't eat, you will not have the fuel that you need to survive. Okay, here's our minerals. It is a nutrient that is needed in small amounts to keep the body healthy. It's kind of hard to define most of these. They're mostly like something that keeps the body healthy that you need in a small amount, because there are multiple different ones of them. That's why I tried to give the examples right after the definition slide so you guys could apply it a little bit better. Okay, here is our application. I thought this was a great verse. And I took my other one from 1 Corinthians 2, which talks a lot about the body and the way that we are supposed to treat it, the way that God instructs us to. And this one says, food is for the stomach, and the stomach is for food. But God will do away with both of them. Yet the body is not for immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord is for the body. So God talks about the food being for the body and the stomach is for food and all the types of things that he created. Obviously, we know that our stomach is for food, but boiled down, our bodies are for the Lord and to glorify him and all of that. So, yeah, I thought that was a great reminder for me and what our stomach is for and all these foods, the knowledge of them. I will show my reference slide real quick. But then we'll go through and see any blanks that you guys need to fill. So this is the websites where I got most of my sources. There are a lot of good lesson plans. But going through it all, are there any blanks that you guys need filled? No? Are there any questions on anything we learned in our... Okay. So here's our little pop quiz. You guys can talk to the person next to you or talk in groups of 2 or 3. And I'll ask a question of an example of each of the 4 types of groups. And I'll need you guys to raise your hand and I'll call on you for one of them. So first we can start off with micronutrients. What is a great example of micronutrients? A specific food. Does anybody know? Okay, so these are the ones in small amounts, and it can be oranges, tuna, crab, cheese, any of these. Okay, macronutrients.
Carbohydrates.
So what's a specific food that is filled with carbohydrates?
Bread.
Yeah. So are those better to eat before or after a workout? They are good to eat before. I thought they were better after because they refuel your body when you're healing. But you can have them before or after, not too soon before though. Alrighty, someone else for vitamins. Yes?
Broccoli.
Yeah, that's a great example of them. And I just like the cute little cartoon of the broccoli. Okay, minerals. Anybody else? Small amounts that keep the body healthy. Yeah.
Iron.
Yeah. Those are great examples. So, for our demonstration for our model today, I wanted to give you guys a snack. Do you guys remember those foods that you talked about when I taught you about My Plate and they were full foods with like all the food groups in them? This is a really healthy snack. That was kind of mentioned with a stuffed bell pepper, but this is a quick, easy snack that I like to eat all the time. And it's bell pepper, so what type of nutrients is that we talked about today? It was on that slide with all those foods. We talked about broccoli, bell peppers were on there too. Yes. So it's full of vitamins, and these are raw. They're washed. I wash my hands. Everything's clean. But these are raw bell peppers, so these are more nutritious than if I cooked them and we stuffed them. So cream cheese, I mentioned, just like avocados are a good type of, yes, perfect, good job guys. And then, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but I really enjoy it. It's called Everything Bagel Seasoning. So it has like sesame seed, salt, toasted onion, poppy seed, which a lot of those have different types of nutrients in them. They're obviously not super great for you, but raise your hand if you would like one. Leave your hand down if you wouldn't, and I'll pass it around. Yeah? I'll eat them all up if you guys don't want, but I can walk around with some, and my hands are clean, so don't be scared. But, so this, literally the prep time of this is like 5 minutes in my house, and I lean towards eating this instead of like snacking on chips because it gives me the same crunch and saltiness. But talk with a partner next to you and think of a healthier alternative of a snack that you eat on a regular basis. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. All good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not a cream cheese fan.
Understandable. You guys both don't?
I'm okay, thank you though. Get the biggest one, because I know it's only so good.
Alrighty, each group of 2, pick a partner to share what healthy alternative you talked about with your group. We'll start here. A healthy alternative, yeah. Yeah? Salted, unsalted? Yeah, they have a lot of like seasoned ones too with good flavors. Lily, did you think of anything with your group?
I like more fruits, like peaches. I don't have a peach.
Yeah. Do you have them frozen or do you try and eat them raw?
I'll eat them raw.
Yeah, that's good. They're good in smoothies too. Did you guys talk with her? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. What did you guys come up with?
Right now I have like this dill pickle dip with like cucumbers that I dip.
Yum.
Carrots and hummus, something like that.
Yeah. I've been having artichoke spinach dip a lot. I really like that. In the back? Dried fruit? Yeah. So that's definitely not as nutritious as if we had it raw, but it is good if you don't want to have like it messy in your bag or a snack.
We said granola, but not like, I don't know, one that has lots of like protein in it and stuff. That's what I eat.
So not having protein or having a lot of protein?
Because you can eat it like this, like I am, or you can put it in like milk instead of eating like frosted flakes.
Yeah, you can use it as a cereal, which is really good. Well, that's good. So, is there anything that we could add to this to make it more nutritious or add vitamins and minerals to this snack? Is there anything we can think of? Salmon? Yeah, that'd be good. Raw on top of it. That's like sushi almost. I thought about, like we were talking about, putting ground beef or something like meat on here. That can make it more hearty. The little like flakes could be like carbs, I guess, but it's not that much. But yeah, you guys did wonderfully today. Let me know if you need any of your blanks filled, and there are more peppers if you guys want more, so they'll be at my desk. So you guys did wonderful today, and that's the end of our lesson 2 about our nutrients.